Captain Elena Voss sat in the control room of the starship Aurora, staring at the flickering screen in front of her. The vast emptiness of space stretched beyond the viewports, a dark canvas dotted with distant stars, and yet something unusual shimmered in the readings. A signal, soft but persistent, pulsed through their instruments. It wasn't like any communication they had encountered before. Its pattern seemed almost alive, as if it was trying to reach out, trying to speak. "Captain, the signal is getting stronger," said Lieutenant Mara, leaning over her console. "I've checked it against every known alien frequency and nothing matches." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Nothing matches, you say? That could mean one thing. We're not the first to detect it, or it's something new." She paused, feeling a thrill run down her spine. Humanity had spent decades searching for intelligent life, but nothing like this had appeared before. And now it seemed the discovery had found them. The crew murmured nervously around the room. Some were excited, others wary. Space was beautiful, yes, but it was also unforgiving. Elena understood their fear. A wrong decision here could mean the end of everyone on the ship. Still, the explorer inside her couldn't ignore the pull of the unknown. "Set a course," she commanded, her voice steady. "Let's see who or what is sending this signal." The Aurora glided through the starry void, its engines humming quietly. Hours passed and the signal grew steadily stronger. On the bridge, the crew watched the monitors with a mix of fascination and anxiety. Strange geometric shapes began to appear on their scanners, structures that defied conventional physics, floating in space as if they had been waiting for someone to arrive. "What is that?" whispered Ensign Rio, pointing at a cluster of light patterns on the screen. Elena leaned forward. "Whatever it is, it's enormous. Prepare the external sensors. I want every detail." As the ship drew closer, the shapes revealed themselves as a massive alien structure, glittering faintly in the darkness. It had a form that seemed almost organic, like it had grown rather than been built. Lines of glowing energy ran along its surface, pulsing rhythmically, and the entire construct seemed to resonate with the signal they had been following. "Sir, sensors are picking up energy readings off the charts," said Mara. "It's almost like the structure itself is alive." Elena's heart pounded. She had seen many strange things in her life, but this was something entirely different. The structure seemed to be waiting for them, patient and deliberate, as if it had been expecting a visitor. "Prepare the shuttle," she ordered. "I want to get a closer look. But stay alert. We don't know what we're dealing with." The shuttle detached from the Aurora, gliding silently toward the structure. As it approached, the energy pulsing from the alien edifice intensified, filling the cabin with a strange, vibrating hum. Elena felt a shiver run through her. It was not frightening exactly, but it was powerful, like the presence of something ancient and intelligent. The shuttle docked with the structure smoothly, almost as if it had been waiting for them to arrive. Elena opened the hatch and stepped inside. The interior was breathtaking. The walls glowed with a soft, shifting light, and the floor seemed to pulse gently beneath her feet. Strange symbols ran along the walls, but they were not chaotic. They had a rhythm, a pattern that suggested a language, a message. Suddenly, the light coalesced in front of her. A figure appeared, tall and elegant, radiating authority. The room seemed to hold its breath. Elena's crew froze in awe and disbelief. The figure spoke, but the words were not sounds. They were thoughts, clear and direct in Elena's mind. "At last I have found you, human," the voice said. Elena felt it as much as she heard it. It was not threatening. It was curious, almost gentle, yet undeniably powerful. "You have been sought for many cycles. You are the one I have waited for." Elena's mouth went dry. She wanted to speak, but no words came. The being studied her intently, its presence filling the space around her. She realized that this was not just an encounter. It was the beginning of something far greater than any mission she had ever undertaken. Something that could change humanity's place in the universe forever. "Chess." The figure inclined its head and the words echoed in her mind. "I am Nyrelia, Queen of the Lyreketh. I have searched the stars for a human, for one who can walk the path that only your species can follow." "That human is you." Elena's mind reeled. The Lyreketh were a species she had only read about in theoretical papers. Ancient, mysterious aliens who had vanished from the known universe centuries ago. She had always thought of them as myth. And now she was standing face to face with their queen. "What path, why me?" she asked, trying to keep fear from creeping into her voice. Nyrelia's gaze seemed to pierce through her, seeing not just her body but her mind, her thoughts, her fears, and her determination. Humans have a gift, the Queen said. A gift of creativity, courage, and adaptability. We have sought one among your kind to face a threat that our species alone cannot withstand. Only together can we survive what is coming. Elena took a cautious step closer, her curiosity overcoming the fear. A threat? What kind of threat? Niralaya's form shimmered and the room filled with images. Dark clouds of energy, consuming stars, and shadowy tendrils stretching across galaxies. A force approaches, one that feeds on life, on energy itself. It does not negotiate. It does not reason. It destroys. I have waited for a human capable of leading my people against it. The crew members, who had cautiously followed Elena into the room, exchanged stunned glances. The aliens had technology and power, but it was a human they sought? That seemed impossible. Elena swallowed hard. And you believe I'm that human? The Queen inclined her head again. I have watched your species for generations. I have seen your courage, your adaptability, your will to survive. You possess something no other species does. That is why I have found you. There was a pause, and Elena felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her. She had always dreamed of discovering new life, but she had never imagined being chosen for something of such importance. Her mind raced with doubt. Could she really lead against a cosmic threat? Could humanity rise to this level? Queen Niralia, she said carefully, I don't know if I can do this. I'm just one human. How can I possibly make a difference against something like that? The Queen's presence seemed to grow, the light around her shimmering brighter. It is not your strength alone that matters, human. It is your mind, your ingenuity, and your spirit. The universe has underestimated your kind for too long. You must trust what is inside you, for it is what will turn the tide. Elena looked at her crew, seeing the same mix of awe, hope, and fear reflected in their faces. She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. All right, she said finally. If you believe I can help, then I will try. I don't fully understand, but I'll do my best. Nirelia's light pulsed warmly. That is all I ask, human. Come. I will show you what must be done, and I will test the limits of what you can achieve. The Queen led Elena to a chamber deeper within the structure. The walls here were covered in complex patterns, glowing with a rhythm that seemed almost musical. Machines hummed softly, responding to the Queen's presence as if they were extensions of her own consciousness. This is a place of learning and trial, Niralia said. Here you will face challenges designed to bring out the full potential of your mind and body. Your creativity, your courage, your ability to adapt, these are the keys to survival. Elena glanced around, feeling both excited and nervous. Challenges? She asked. Yes, the Queen said simply. And they will not be easy. They are designed for your species because no other could succeed in the way you can. Humans have a unique way of seeing the world. A way that allows you to find solutions where others see only obstacles. That is what I need from you. The Queen watched silently, her presence calm yet commanding. Good, she said finally, her words echoing in Elena's mind. You are capable, but this is only the beginning. Elena felt a mixture of relief and excitement. The first test had been passed, but she knew there were many more ahead. She was learning that the universe was far larger and more complex than she had imagined, and that humans, her kind, might have a place in it that no one had ever expected. As the first day of tests ended, Elena looked at Niralia. The Queen's presence was no longer intimidating. It was inspiring. And for the first time, Elena felt a spark of hope, not just for herself but for humanity. Somewhere deep in space, a cosmic force was approaching. And for the first time, Elena realized that humans might just be ready to face it. Elena woke to a soft hum echoing through the chamber. The light from the walls had dimmed to a gentle glow, and Niralia stood silently, waiting. Today, the Queen said, would be different. The first challenge had been a test of intellect, a puzzle designed to gauge human creativity. Today it would test something else, something that could not be measured by logic alone. You are ready for the next trial, Niralia said. Her voice resonated in Elena's mind, calm yet filled with power. This will test your courage and your ability to adapt when the situation changes without warning. The universe does not always present clear paths. Sometimes survival depends on quick thinking and the strength to face the unknown. Elena nodded. She had passed the first test, but she felt a nervous flutter in her stomach. The unknown had a way of making even the bravest hearts tremble. The chamber transformed around her, Walls of glowing energy dissolved into a vast simulation that resembled a planet's surface. Mountains rose sharply, rivers twisted unpredictably, and skies shifted from brilliant blue to stormy gray within seconds. Strange alien creatures appeared, moving with agility and intelligence that mirrored real life. Some were harmless, merely observing her, but others seemed aggressive, testing her reactions. "Elena," Nerelia said, "you must navigate this world, reach the central tower, and activate its core. But beware. Every choice you make will alter the environment. You must think, act, and adapt quickly. No two trials are ever the same." Elena took a deep breath and stepped forward. She studied the creatures first. One small pack approached, curious rather than hostile. She extended her hand slowly. They circled her, sniffing, watching her movements. Using calm gestures and steady breathing, she avoided startling them, proving instinctive human empathy could influence even alien life. Suddenly, the ground trembled. Rocks split apart, rivers swelled, and larger, more menacing creatures emerged from the shadows. Elena ran, ducking under jagged branches, leaping over streams and climbing steep cliffs. Each obstacle forced her to make decisions quickly, sometimes instinctively, sometimes by analyzing patterns she had never seen before. As she reached a narrow bridge over a churning chasm, a massive creature lunged from the side. Its movements were precise, calculating, as if it knew she would react in a certain way. Elena froze for a heartbeat, then remembered Nirelia's words. Adaptability. She changed her approach, using a nearby vine to swing across the chasm. The creature lunged after her but misjudged the distance, crashing harmlessly into the rocks below. Elena gasped for breath on the other side, her heart racing. Her body was exhausted, but her mind was sharp. Every challenge, every sudden change in the environment had required her to think differently. She realized this was why the Queen had chosen her. Not for her strength, not for her knowledge, but for the human mind's ability to improvise under pressure. Hours, or perhaps it had only been minutes. Time felt strange in the simulation, passed. Elena finally reached the central tower, a structure of luminous crystal that seemed to hum with energy. A complex console waited at its base, filled with alien symbols and mechanisms. Elena hesitated, studying it carefully. Logic alone would not solve this. She had to rely on intuition, on an instinct that seemed to come from somewhere deep inside her. She pressed, turned, and moved the components in ways that felt natural. Symbols glowed, energy flowed through the tower, and the simulation responded instantly. The storms calmed, the creatures quieted, and the environment shifted into peaceful harmony. Elena stepped back, exhausted but exhilarated. She had done it. The chamber dissolved around her, and she found herself back in the quiet room with Nerelia. The Queen's eyes shone with approval. "Well done, human," she said. "You have shown courage and adaptability beyond what we anticipated. These qualities are what make humans extraordinary. You are not like any species we have known." Elena sank to her knees, letting the adrenaline fade. "It felt real," she admitted. "I could feel everything, the storms, the creatures. It was like I was actually there." "That is the purpose," Nerelia said. "To prepare you for what is coming, you must experience challenges as if they are real. Simulation alone is not enough. Humans learn through experience, through action, and through facing uncertainty. That is your strength." Elena stood, feeling a mix of pride and humility. She was beginning to understand that humans had something unique: the ability to adapt to the unknown, to face danger with courage, and to find solutions when no one else could. The Queen had chosen wisely, she realized. "You are ready for the next stage," Nerelia continued. "But the challenges will grow more complex. You will face threats that no human has ever encountered, and yet I believe you can succeed where others would fail." Elena nodded, feeling a surge of determination. She had faced danger, uncertainty, and fear, and she had prevailed. Each trial revealed a new layer of human potential, and she began to see the larger picture, the role humanity could play in the universe. As she prepared to rest, Elena looked at the Queen. "I don't fully understand what's ahead," she said softly. "But I want to try. I want to learn, and I want to help." Nerelia's form shimmered in response, almost like a smile. "Then you are on the path, human. The universe is vast and the darkness approaches. But with your kind, there is hope. And hope can change everything." Elena's heart swelled with resolve. She was no longer just a human explorer. She was someone chosen for a purpose far greater than she had ever imagined, and the trials she faced would show not only her strength, but the limitless potential of her species. Elena awoke to a quiet, soft glow filling the chamber. The trials she had faced yesterday lingered in her mind like vivid dreams. Her body ached from exertion, but her spirit burned with determination. Niralaya's presence was already there, calm and radiant, waiting to guide her. "Today," the queen said, her words resonating in Elena's mind, "you will learn why humans were chosen long ago. You will see the hidden threads of your species' history, threads that link you to the universe in ways your kind has forgotten." Elena's curiosity surged. "Hidden threads?" she asked. "What do you mean?" Niralaia extended a hand, and the walls of the chamber seemed to dissolve into a cascade of shimmering lights. Elena stepped forward, and suddenly she was no longer in the chamber. She stood on a platform in space, floating among stars and swirling nebulae. Before her, a vast projection unfolded, showing the early history of the universe, the rise of countless civilizations, and the long-forgotten role humans had played. "Your ancestors," Niralaia said, "interacted with my species millennia ago. Humans were never as alone as you believed. You helped shape the growth of civilizations, subtly guiding events, preserving balance where others might have failed." Elena's eyes widened. She had always thought humanity was young, insignificant on the cosmic scale, but now she saw ancient humans traveling among stars, forming bonds with species long gone, exchanging knowledge and courage. They were explorers, diplomats, warriors, and thinkers, hidden architects of the universe's growth. "Why was this forgotten?" she asked, awestruck. "Why do we know nothing of this?" "Time and distance," Niralaia replied. "Many records were lost and knowledge faded. Your species' memory is limited, but your potential remains. That is why I sought you, Elena. The universe needs that potential once more." The projection shifted to show a looming shadow, a dark energy moving across galaxies, consuming everything in its path. Planets, stars, civilizations, all reduced to nothingness. "This is the force that approaches," Niralaia said. "In the past, humans played a role in resisting it. Now it returns, stronger and closer than ever. You must understand your place in this history to prepare for what is coming." Elena felt a chill run through her. She had faced simulations, tests, and challenges, but this was real. She realized that the stakes were far greater than her own survival. Entire worlds, entire civilizations hung in the balance. And humanity, once thought small and insignificant, had the power to make a difference. Niralia's voice softened. "This is not to frighten you, human. It is to remind you that your species carries a spark that others do not. The courage, creativity, and adaptability you showed in the trials yesterday are the same qualities your ancestors used to guide civilizations and face threats beyond reckoning." Elena took a deep breath. She could feel the weight of responsibility pressing on her. "You see," Niralaia said, "your species is a key to the survival of many. You are not just humans. You are catalysts, problem solvers, and agents of hope. And the universe needs hope now more than ever." Elena felt her heart swell. She thought of her crew, of the people she had left behind on the Aurora. They had no idea how important humanity's role could be, how essential their ingenuity and courage would become. She realized that the trials were just the beginning. What she learned today would guide her decisions, shape her leadership, and prepare her for the challenges to come. "Will I be alone in this?" she asked, a hint of doubt in her voice. "You will have allies," Niralaia said. "Other humans, other species. But it will be your mind and spirit that lead the way. Trust in yourself and in those who follow you." Elena nodded. She looked out at the stars around her, feeling a sense of purpose she had never known. Humanity's past was hidden, yes, but its future was wide open. She could feel the spark of courage that had always existed in her kind, now burning brighter than ever. "Thank you," she said, her voice steady, "for showing me, for trusting me." Niralia's light pulsed warmly. "This is only the beginning. There is much you must learn and much you must do, but you have taken the first step toward reclaiming your species' place among the Essi. TARS. Remember, human, the universe listens to those who dare to act." Elena took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history and the promise of the future intertwining within her. She was no longer just an explorer. She was a link between past and future, between humanity and the cosmos. And the challenges ahead, though great, no longer seemed impossible. Somewhere in the dark expanse of space, the shadow was moving closer. But for the first time, Elena felt ready. Humanity had always been underestimated. Now it was time to show what humans were truly capable of. The Aurora drifted silently in the shadow of a massive asteroid belt as Elena studied the latest readings from her crew. The signal of the dark energy, the cosmic force Nyrelia had warned them about, had grown stronger, closer. The sensors showed an approaching mass of energy that consumed everything in its path. Stars dimmed in its wake. Planets disappeared. It was alive, relentless, and far more powerful than anything humanity, or the Lyreketh, had faced in centuries. "Captain," Mara said, pointing at the screen, "it's moving faster than predicted. If we don't act soon, it will reach the outer colonies in weeks, not months." Elena nodded. Her mind raced, recalling Nyrelia's teachings about human adaptability and problem-solving. This was no longer a trial simulation. The threat was real, and every decision she made now would affect countless lives. "We've trained for unknown situations, haven't we?" she said, her voice firm. "Then we adapt. We find a way. That's what humans do." The crew nodded, inspired by her confidence. They trusted her, and she needed that trust now more than ever. Nyrelia's presence filled the ship's communication channel, radiant and steady. "Elena," the Queen said, "this force cannot be fought with weapons alone. It responds to energy, to balance, to ingenuity. You must guide us, for humans think in ways we do not. Your creativity will be our greatest weapon." Elena's heart pounded. This was what she had trained for, what she had been chosen for. "Then we begin. Mara, Rio, assemble the engineering team. We're integrating Lyreketh energy conduits with our propulsion systems. We'll need to create a containment pulse, something the entity cannot anticipate." The crew moved quickly, following her instructions. Humans and aliens worked side by side, a blend of intuition and precision. Elena oversaw the operation, guiding decisions with the quick thinking only humans seemed capable of. When a conduit alignment failed, she improvised, rerouting energy in a pattern no alien design had suggested. The Lyreketh looked at her in surprise. "Impressive," Nyrelia said. "Only a human would have seen that solution so quickly." Hours passed as they prepared the ship for the daring mission. Elena reviewed every detail, anticipating potential failures but also trusting her instincts. This was her kind of challenge, unpredictable, high stakes, and requiring split-second thinking. Finally, the Aurora emerged from the asteroid belt, facing the vast black mass of the approaching threat. It was enormous, twisting in space like a living shadow, its energy pulsing in unpredictable patterns. The crew held their breath as Elena activated the ship's energy array, integrating the Lyreketh conduits into a complex lattice of human-guided improvisation. "Now," Elena commanded, "initiate the pulse." The ship vibrated as a brilliant beam of light surged from its core, wrapping around the dark mass. For a moment, it seemed as if the energy would overpower them. The entity shifted, testing their defenses, probing for weaknesses. Elena acted instinctively, adjusting the array, rebalancing energy flows, and predicting the entity's movement based on patterns only she could see. The beam held. The creature recoiled, then twisted, adapting to the human's response. Elena felt a surge of fear, but also clarity. She realized the entity was intelligent, learning from their actions. That meant humans had to outthink it, not just overpower it. "Think like it thinks," she whispered to herself. "Predict, adapt, improvise." She directed the energy in sudden, unexpected bursts, exploiting the entity's patterns. Mara followed her instructions flawlessly, and the alien engineers adjusted their conduits in real time. Slowly, the dark mass faltered, unable to anticipate the creativity and adaptability of the humans guiding the attack. Finally, with one last surge of combined energy, the entity was forced into a containment field, trapped in a sphere of light. Silence filled the bridge as the crew watched, stunned. The threat, the unstoppable force, had been restrained by human ingenuity combined with alien technology. Nyrelia's voice echoed through the ship, filled with awe. "You have done it, Elena. Humanity has proven what we could only hope for. Your species' creativity and courage have saved countless worlds today." Elena felt relief and pride wash over her. She had faced fear, the unknown, and a force beyond imagining, and humans had triumphed. She looked at her crew. Seeing their exhaustion mixed with elation, they had been tested under impossible conditions and had risen to the challenge. She allowed herself a small smile. "This is just the beginning," she said. "We've won this battle, but there's more to come. We've shown that humans are capable of far more than anyone imagined." The Queen appeared in the channel again, her form radiant with approval. "Indeed, this is only the first step. Humanity has been underestimated for too long, but today, you have shown the universe what your kind can achieve. You are a beacon of hope, Elena, and your species is now recognized as a true partner in the cosmos." Elena exhaled deeply, her mind already turning to what lay ahead. The entity was contained but not destroyed. More threats could emerge, more challenges could come. But for the first time, she felt an unshakable confidence in humanity's potential. Somewhere far beyond the stars, the universe was watching. And it had just witnessed something extraordinary. Humans, with courage, creativity, and adaptability, standing shoulder to shoulder with the most advanced species in the galaxy, ready to face any challenge. Elena turned to her crew. "Let's finish preparing," she said, her voice steady. "We've proven we can fight the impossible. Now we need to make sure the universe knows humans are ready for what comes next." And in that moment, Elena realized that humanity's place among the stars was no longer uncertain. They were no longer observers of the cosmos. They were participants, catalysts, and heroes in a universe that had always underestimated them. The aurora drifted in the calm aftermath of the battle. Outside, the stars glimmered peacefully, but Elena knew this peace was fragile. The dark energy had been contained, not destroyed, and the shadow of the threat still lingered beyond the reach of their sensors. She walked through the ship's corridors, checking on her crew, their faces a mix of exhaustion and relief. Nerelia appeared in the communications channel, her form glowing softly. "Elena," she said, her voice filled with quiet admiration, "you have proven that humans are capable of extraordinary things. But the universe does not forgive weakness. The entity you faced was only the beginning. Others will come, testing both humans and aliens. We must prepare for what lies ahead." Elena nodded, her mind already racing. She had learned during the trials that adaptability and creativity were humanity's greatest strengths. Now she had to use them not just to fight, but to plan, to strategize, and to unite allies across the stars. The Queen led Elena to a new chamber, one filled with holographic projections of entire star systems. "Here," Nerelia explained, "we monitor regions where threats are likely to emerge. Some are natural, others are sentient. Your people have a talent for seeing solutions that others cannot. You must help us coordinate defenses, human." Elena studied the holograms, seeing patterns in the movement of planets, fleets, and energy signatures. She noticed anomalies the aliens had overlooked. Small details, subtle irregularities in gravitational patterns and energy flows. Her instincts told her these were signs of potential dangers, areas that could be exploited or fortified. "Your species sees possibilities that others ignore," Nerelia said, watching her closely. "This is why humans are essential. You think in ways we cannot predict. You see options where others see dead ends." Elena smiled faintly. "Then let's make sure we don't leave anything to chance." She began devising strategies, integrating human problem-solving with alien technology. The crew and Nerelia observed, sometimes skeptical, sometimes impressed, as Elena suggested unconventional solutions, using gravitational anomalies to slow approaching threats, redirecting energy flows to strengthen planetary shields, and creating contingency plans that no single species could have conceived alone. Hours turned into days as Elena and the Queen worked together. With every adjustment, every suggestion, the humans' ingenuity proved invaluable. The Learketh learned to trust the unexpected, to accept that not all solutions needed to be precise or predictable. Some required intuition, improvisation, and boldness, qualities that humans had in abundance. One evening, as the two watched a projection of a distant galaxy, Nerelia spoke quietly. "Elena, you have done more than survive trials or fight threats. You have begun to reshape our approach to the universe. You are teaching us that creativity and courage are as important as power and knowledge." Elena looked at the holograms again, seeing new possibilities. Small fleets could be coordinated to act as deterrents. Planets could be shielded preemptively. Energy networks could be reinforced to resist attacks. Her mind buzzed with ideas, each one building on the last. She realized that the universe was not an enemy to fear. It was a puzzle to solve, a challenge to master. "Captain," Mara said softly, "we're ready to implement your strategies. The crews are following your plans." Elena nodded. "Good. Let's make sure everyone knows their role. We can't afford mistakes. Not now." The Queen's presence seemed to glow brighter, a sign of approval. "You are more than a human, Elena. You are a bridge between species, a guide for cooperation, and a beacon of hope. The universe is vast and full of dangers, but with your leadership, humanity's place among the stars is secure." Elena felt a sense of calm determination. She had faced impossible challenges, confronted terrifying forces, and discovered truths about humanity she had never known. Now she was ready to face whatever came next, not alone, but with her crew, her species, and the Learketh by her side. Outside, the stars continued to shine, silent witnesses to the courage, creativity, and determination of one human captain. Elena knew the threats would not stop, that the universe would always test them. But she also knew this. Humans had something extraordinary within them, something that could change the course of history. And with that realization, she was ready to lead, to adapt, and to inspire. The future was uncertain, but Elena no longer feared it. She had discovered humanity's true potential, and the universe had begun to take notice. The adventure was far from over, and the trials ahead would be greater than ever. But for the first time, Elena knew that humans were more than ready. The void of space stretched endlessly before the aurora, dark and silent except for the faint glow of distant stars. Elena stood on the bridge, her hands resting lightly on the console, eyes fixed on the approaching mass. It was the final test, the ultimate challenge that would decide not just their survival, but the survival of countless worlds. The dark entity, more massive and powerful than any simulation or previous encounter, pulsed with energy that seemed alive. It moved with purpose, consuming light and matter in its path. Elena could feel its presence pressing against the boundaries of space itself. This was no longer a threat to one ship or one species. It was a threat to the entire galaxy. Nerelia's voice echoed in her mind, calm yet commanding. "Elena, this is the moment we have prepared for. The containment pulse will not hold indefinitely. You must lead, think, and act beyond what you have done before. Humanity's ingenuity will be our greatest weapon." Elena nodded, her mind racing through the strategies she had devised, the simulations she had run with her crew, and the lessons from the trials. Her fear was present, but it was no longer paralyzing. She drew strength from the knowledge that humans had always found a way when the odds were against them. "Crew," she called, her voice steady and resolute. "This is the moment we've trained for. We're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for every world, every life, and every species that depends on us. Follow the plan, trust your instincts, and adapt when the unexpected happens. Humanity is counting on us, and so is the universe." The crew moved with precision, their trust in her absolute. Mara and Rio coordinated the energy conduits, rerouting power to create a containment lattice. Engineers adjusted alien technology based on Elena's improvisations, combining human creativity with Learketh precision. The aurora surged forward, the containment pulse projected outward. The entity roared through space, lashing against the pulse with waves of energy that threatened to destabilize the ship. Elena acted instantly, analyzing the patterns of its attacks. She noticed subtle irregularities, moments where the entity repeated its movements, where its reactions were predictable. Using those moments, she directed the energy flow, creating openings in its defenses. "Now focus on the nodes," she shouted. "Hit the nodes in sequence. Trust the timing and anticipate its next move." The crew followed her instructions perfectly. Each node activated in sequence, energy surging and striking the entity at precise points. For a moment, it seemed as if the entity would adapt, but Elena was faster. She thought ahead, predicting patterns that even the Queen had not considered. Humans saw possibilities, others did not. A burst of light erupted as the containment pulse locked in place, surrounding the entity in a sphere of brilliant energy. The entity thrashed, twisting and writhing, but it could not escape. The combined ingenuity of humans and Learketh held firm. Elena's heart pounded as she watched, knowing that every second mattered. "Keep it steady," she commanded. "Do not let it break through." The entity pulsed one final time, a wave of darkness spreading across the containment field. Elena adjusted the energy flows instinctively, redirecting power to stabilize the lattice. Slowly, the entity's violent movements began to weaken. The light of the containment pulse brightened, enveloping it completely. Then silence. The entity was trapped, unable to move or consume. The stars returned to their normal glow, the void calm once more. The crew exhaled collectively, their exhaustion mixed with awe and relief. Elena sank into her seat, a smile breaking across her face. Neurelia's presence shimmered, brighter than ever, her voice filled with reverence. "You have done it, Elena. Humanity has proven its worth. Your courage, adaptability, and creativity have turned the tide. The universe recognizes the strength of your species." Elena glanced at her crew, seeing their expressions of pride and amazement. "We did it," she said quietly. "Together, humans and aliens, we did it." The Queen's gaze softened. "Not only did you contain the threat, but you also demonstrated what I have always believed, that humans are more than their limitations. You are thinkers, innovators, and leaders. Your species has a place among the stars, and now the universe knows it." Elena felt a swell of emotion. She had faced trials, danger, and the unknown. She had discovered the hidden strength of her species and the power of collaboration between humans and Laerketh. Today, humanity had not just survived, they had triumphed. "Captain," Mara said, her voice trembling with awe, "they'll remember this. Not just the Laerketh, but every civilization we saved. Humans will have a reputation now, one of courage, creativity, and hope." Elena nodded. "That's what we've earned. But we can't stop here. The universe is full of unknowns, and we must be ready. This victory is a beginning, not an end." The Aurora set course back to Allied space, carrying not only a story of survival, but a legacy of human ingenuity. Elena looked out at the stars, feeling a profound connection to the vast universe around her. Humanity had been underestimated, yes, but now they had shown what they were capable of. Somewhere in the darkness, new challenges waited. But Elena knew, as she had always believed, that humans could face the impossible, adapt, and overcome. They were more than explorers. They were innovators, leaders, and hope-bringers. And for the first time, Elena felt certain that humanity's place among the stars was secure. The universe had tested them, and they had risen to the occasion. The future was vast and uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humans had earned their place, and their story had only just begun. As the ship sailed through the starlight, Elena allowed herself a moment of quiet pride. She had discovered the potential of her species, forged alliances with a powerful alien race, and faced cosmic forces beyond imagining. Humanity had triumphed, not through sheer strength, but through courage, creativity, and the unyielding determination to survive and thrive. The stars stretched endlessly before her, full of possibilities. And for the first time, Elena knew humanity was ready to meet them all.